the child of Atlas is back in action. Fact, not fashion. Most y'all internet has-beens, more like commercials with whack acting. From commercial to action, I'm laughing back up to laughing. I spit man, God, civilization, John G. Jackson, like a Gatlin, the last dragon. Cosmic memory of an Atlantean. E3 technology is who I am in skin. Walking the landmass is Atlas. Some say I'm batshit crazy, but that's the masses for you. Can you blame the people? Most been trained to be feeble, tame sheeple by the evil, who means to keep you cashless in the fastest society, where the vax and the mass are the blame for the dying street. You the root race, they medieval. Eat the cheap food they feed you or read through these fools. Restorer or rebel, can't play God unless acquainted with the devil. Polarity you choose, acquainted with its level. Frequency, distance is an illusion, so please unveil the confusion. Look beyond the shadow of the late and hollow years. See the far and distant lands where tomorrow appears. Put it in perspective. Decision of each being the latest, most accurate vision of peace, where each one teach one to reach one, freeze one from under the trees and stump of the impeached one. Remember, all skin folk are not kinfolk. While I hold a sword in my left hand, I write a pen to pen quotes. Word to see Lord L. I'ma be more hell to these foreigners till they leave our air, land, and seashore and sell their asses right back across that agua. Screw y'all's dishonorable dogma. Something proper with no lube. The past 25 years I've been the son of solitude. The oil that fused my chakras is cruel. Love my people towards the evils. I'm heartless and rude. Firstborn of Inkle, the dawn of the twinkle. Twinkle little sun, I got bright and I could think too. I blink through a wrinkle in time. Rip Van Winkle and rhyme. And my shit stink too. To link you to source, yes, you rather have AI sink you. I not only know the ledge, I'm on the brink too. They wanna extinct you, your essence is viable. Crimes against humanity, your oppressors liable. They try to write on my recital, yet my presence vital as the session's title. Welcome to the seventh cycle. The heart of man is as the sun, the reception order for the divine ray of spiritual intuition descended unto man. The brain of man is as the moon, the source of human intellect. The body of man is the earthly vehicle. Let the sun impregnate the moon, or let the spiritual fire prompt the human intellect. And let the result fructify in the womb of a purified body. And you will develop the son of the sun, the quintessence, the stone of the wise, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. Akishiwa. The human heart cries out for help. The human soul implores us for deliverance. But we do not hear their cries, for we neither hear nor understand. But the man who hears and understands we call crazy and flee from him. This is a call to my ancestors. Rid the land of damn settlers. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Sun or storm, each clan better. Planting a devil to stand the weather. It's a must we band together. Put that on Abraham and Esther. From Castilians to conquistadors, Iberians and traitorous Moors. Didn't arrive as friends to us, whether as slavers, invaders, or disguised traders, missionaries, Islamic Christians with dictionaries. No mutual goal to coexist. Those warships in our tributaries. Military tactics to test shores. Foreigners have no respect for treaties and oath. Why expect more from those who want to conquest except war? They didn't bring women during the invasions. Their minds were on rape, miscegenations, the spread of mis and disinformation, which manufactured the miseducation of the soul. Carter G. Washington, Robert Taylor Holmes, Marcy and Brooklyn, projects and hoods where we were pushed in Cali to Florida. Harley Cushion, it's like the terrorists, never ending shipment of American Indians from Belize to the Caribbean. Gives I shot this sheriff meeting. Shut my field can be read, no book. Flows in my veins were prepared with no hook. Behind the back pass with flair, no look. This beef is rare, get fed, no cook. We're peaceful people, they call us animals. Truth of the matter, they were cannibals. Practice unclean religious rites. Evidence tangible, check the annals. I bring heat, this beast flammable. Feel free to critique this canonical. If your brain's deeply manacled, release or get treated damnable. You speak Hannibal, I talk black hole. Fighting the line, now the chief's back with bulk. That's big muscle drip up to tussle with Uncle Sam, big brother and his clique. I put that on Abraham and Esther. It's a must, we band together. Blend in the devil to stand the weather. Sun or storm, each clan better. Whether we feeling the man's pressure. Turn our signs to hand gestures. Rid the land of damn settlers. This is a call to my ancestors. Based on real life, It's nothing like the old school. High vibrations is what it feels like. It's nothing like the old school. This goes way back. Before I was knee deep out in them streets, ganging, like the prison and that old crazy mess. This is what really makes me me, y'all, at its core. So check it out. I arrived in 1970, August 14th, to be precise. Eldest son, firstborn of 5, alive as the Christ. Had sunny days, just like I had spooky nights, which accounts for my old lows. Had my newly heist, childhood not of the norm. Excellence, how I perform. Deep down, I was bad, that's why now I bring the storm. Memorize Psalms and other passages of scriptures after learning the Quran to fend off the jinns' whispers. It was like my mother and father tried to hide us from the Pontius Pilates, Kiheras, and other outsiders. No celebrating holidays, kept away from ungodly ways of playing games, calling names the cost of what folly pays. I'm saying you wouldn't believe such discipline, wishing to make friends with the neighborhood children. But it was like wish again from early on was taught I was different, not better, just gifted. There's a big difference. Had telescopes, microscopes, PMG sets, books, maps, paints, carpentry tools, wrote poems, not yet known as raps. Learned alphabets and mathematics from my mama. Learned meditation and martial arts from my father. Watched my uncles create music, so I beat drums. Played keyboards with my dad, the guitar he strummed. Didn't consume pork nor beef. I would eat plums, not knowing this was part of who I would become. True stories. This is based on real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of light. High vibrations, it's what it feels like. True stories. This is based on real life. It's before all the jail feel nice. The genius within me, the angel of life. High vibrations, now around it feels like 1982 was no longer separating from the outside. Right off the porch, yeah, I made it. First noticed her standing in my b-boy stash. Leapt at the chance and began to break dance on wooden floors. I got sore from the workout. It was me, Chili T, my man Shabazz, Muhammad, and Phil G. When I met her on 93rd, next Jeffrey Manor, master of all crews, was written on my banner. The manner of my approach. Yo, I rocked her. World with backspins, atomic flares, and helicopters, hella proper. Guys who were awesome, tried to get fresh. Up at Basel and on commercial, attempted to test.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Apologies. I'm gonna turn off these notifications. This is gonna be ridiculous. I can't make this up. Yo, what's up, D? Who all up in here? That's. I guess the other ones are floaters. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. So the gun range, that with a van, people coming in and
the great matriarchs give to America, rare, uncut, sun complected yet, the wretched of the earth. Though my old blood's majestic shall it shed the most rejected.
I haven't watched your video yet, but I shared it, so I'm gonna go back and I saved it, I downloaded it, so I'm gonna watch it.
But from rawness of my breath, I receive meditatively my mother and father.
But you know, there's a lot of ignorant people here, you know what I mean? No name calling. It's fact.
It has no cause, yet the cause of everything. Falsehood is no, yet the manifest of right.
I'm gonna get into reading here in about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, because I want to eat something.
When it comes to fiction, hell, truth is stranger, y'all. I came to y'all to bring the fault of a government that's been de facto and the enemy of so-called black folks. I mixed with being realistic and admits it. How's it we've allowed this shit from go defiant now, cryptic? Y'all complicit in spirit with the metaverse, metaphysics also makes me America's first. I'm not in competition with men or women. I'm defending my household from those who are pretending garbed and skin the same as us, taking up the same.
The carbohydrates by the sugar is 13%, which is 35 grams. That's really not a lot when it's coming from fruit. But if you're getting beet sugar, this is cane sugar and the fruit and the apple and stuff. Cane sugar that is like from the raw, yeah, that's not what you think it is. That will not make you you insulin, suppress it. Sugar period can mess you up, but there is carbs based on what time you partake in it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Charlie? So that's why I drink 1 or 2 of these a day. I'm burning fat like crazy. My 6-pack is coming in, and just like Mike Tyson, he's got his love handles, I got mine, but strength don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how many PFAS chemicals you are partaking in. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, and in mRNA, they done put it all. They didn't put it in everything. Okay. See, Yahweh is a deity, which I said is about the Olvath, and people have a hard time accepting that. And we still got these little Hebrew guys running around Yahuwah and Yahshua and all this, and I'm like, yo, man, if you don't shut, you can show people this stuff and say, look at the names and what they befit. That it's not. It's like when people are talking about King David. King who? Sumerian? You talking about Canaanite God? You talking about El? And then you know who Bay is? You know what Bay means? It's like when people saying Moors. And I don't sit there arguing with these guys who they find something to make their existence mean something instead of knowing who they are. Bay has nothing to do with what they think. It's another false or real deity. It has nothing to do with the creation. It has nothing to do with what they say. It has nothing to do with Islam. It's all this nonsense, and they can't free themselves from it. I don't get into the interpretation of argument because it doesn't solve anything, and some people think it's healthy. That's how benign. It's like the individual today, which I said, who want to self-immolate today. At the court at the Trump hearing. Well, first of all, I didn't share the video. I'm gonna upload it, and it's further discussing food and the reason why you see things. And people attempt to make sense of it, but they can't even make sense of the fact that they're attempting to judge or make sense of things that they really partially have an understanding about. When I say to you, the food plays a major role in what they've done, and it's by design. It doesn't matter what you think, and slowly end the poisoning and everything. And in some form, they said it. There is no such thing as fast food. That should illuminate a light, even for those of you who say on the run. Now, when you go in there and you get a so-called flame burger, everything else is prepared. Even the meat of the burger is prepared. It's pretty much cooked. And this is what people don't know how to make sense. That's why you could take one of them burgers and you could sit it in an open space and let it sit there for months and months and months and go back. It kind of still looks the same. Maybe the sauce is retrograded, but because it's not what you think it is. That's why they gave you Soylent Green, because that was at the time when they would start manipulating further the food. The disingenuity of the food, the military complexity and the food industry complex, military complex and the food. I said burp and it's confusing. Anyway, and the food complex, military and the food is an industry. All right, so regardless of the complex or how where they work from, whatever, and the scientists behind it. Very, very sick individuals. Okay? Yes. They printed meat and they sampled it. They don't know the long-term effects. First of all, you shouldn't be eating meat, period. It's not going to, it's not, you should live well past 100 even eating meat. But the thing is, I've known quite a few. Eat pig feet, hog maw, and chitlins, and the whole nine. Okay, who made it past 90, 100 years. The difference is the chemicals, the further breakdown of your DNA, or we'll use those terms. That is the problem. And so, does it happen here? Of course. Especially when you haven't been nurtured to increase your spiritual awareness, the source of the light that makes you. Now, it's not like they haven't done some very heinous acts. Okay, it's not like they haven't ran tests. And as far as you know, because they tell you, it's only been on monkeys, rats, cats, and this, that, which should not be happening. But you better believe you see what they're feeding you, and they wouldn't be doing it if they hadn't tested it already. They wouldn't give it to you if they know it didn't work. We got to be more intelligent. 5G. They telling you all the time it's irradiating, and it's radiating. They can turn it up at any time and spike it. And the mRNA strands react to it. This is stuff you can look up. Yeah, I don't have to make it up. You can look it up. But you don't see none of the good old boy network, this, that, and the other, and all these other people. Because, see, they're being told, oh, yeah, it's only going to affect the so-called NEGRO. It's like the police department. Are you aware that the police department, fundamentally, California, New York, New Jersey, they are the most dumbest racists you ever seen in the world? The sad part is you got military individuals who work beside guys, and they know we're just, there's no, the complexities of being different is the fact that most of them are ignorant to the reality of what we've created, and basically their culture is from us. But because they're lacking chemical lobotomy, it doesn't matter what I don't care if they what special. I wouldn't care who they are, what they've done. The reality is, when you police a certain community more and more and more, well, you create a problem, especially when you're ignorant. Your costume means nothing, which all that's about to go away. But they are their own worst enemy. These goofy racists, ex-military, whatever they are, they're the dumbest things walk, and the ones who are melanated. See, it's not about crayon colors. It's a mindset. They created them against us, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, talking about patriots and all that other stuff. It's like, I still have people messaging me talking about, you know, the transatlantic, and somebody talking about it was a war. What did I say? What did I say? The fictional Civil War. How many times did I got to say that? We were fighting against enemies coming on our shore. All enemies. After we realized what had happened, those of us remaining fought, and the stalemate was because they were like, whoa, they're powerful. We have to go to another tactic. Otherwise, we would have eradicated all of them. But because the war was going, certain individuals came in when we started to say, okay, chill. And certain groups of ours were being dealt with demorally. That's when they started coming into our cities, establishing it, because we weren't really, most of our people weren't geared for that. They knew of the cities, but the war had took off many who are, you know, and those of us knew the work, we would go and we were being used by them. That's what they are, users, tricksters. Okay? Let's go ahead and get into reading, all right? Let's get into the Negro Project. Well, first I want to read 100 Years of Lynching. I want to read a couple in here, okay? I want to go to the New York Sun, November 9th, 1931. Doubt of guilt found in most of 1930s lynchings. Atlanta, Georgia, November 9th. Conclusions that 2 of the 21 persons lynched in 1930 certainly were innocent, all of them were, and 11 others possibly so. Were advanced today by the Southern Commission on the Study of Lynching, along with a criticism of hasty trials and legal lynchings. The commission listed as findings of a year's survey that there is real doubt of guilt of at least half of the victims of mob violence. 2, fewer than all of them. 2, fewer than 1/4 of the persons lynched since 1890 have been accused of assaults upon women, white women. 3, claims that lynchings are necessary because courts do not convict Negroes for their crimes are fallacious. 4, mob leaders can be identified without difficulty, although grand jury indictments seldom are brought. Most of them are Jews. Well, New Age Jews. 5, there's a list with names. 5, lynching is most frequent per tens of thousands of Negro population in sparsely settled areas. Lynching is most frequent per tens of thousands of Negroes population in sparse. Those where we were members, they would never come in because they're punks. We eradicated many of them. And they won't tell you that story. Don't worry. We'll get into some of those stories so we can quell this fake white supremacy. They always went to those who were just few and around. Yeah, you get 200, 1,000 people on 1 or 2 people? Chumps. Okay? 5, lynching is most frequent per tens of thousands of Negro population in sparsely settled areas. 6, there is direct relationship between lack of education, law economic status, and lynching danger. The report was made public here today by the commission's chairman, George Milton. Okay? George Milton, president and editor of the Chattanooga News. Regarding offenses that resulted in lynchings, the commission said one man was lynched solely because he had offended political opponents, and another to prevent, because you got to remember, we were the Republic. We were the original Republicans. There was no pale skin and nobody. The Gujars are the ones, and there are 4 to 5 different so-called races, okay? And not all of them play a part, but you see them today in ignorance, and they don't know what's coming for them because they've been told a lie. Solely because he had offended political. When you're dealing with the real children of Shem, the real Hebrews, and Shem is not what you think it is. All right, that's why the identity theft is so thick with these so-called 87 converts, taking our labels and our terms and misnaming them all around the world and creating further division. This is the ignorance of the population, and they teach this to their children as if it's going to be beneficial when it's the most detrimental. When you think about the Theosophical Society, all the fake things that you see in the world. You need to know this, and mostly you need to continue because most people's culture is our culture. It has always been our culture. Regarding offenses that resulted in lynchings, the commission said one man was lynched solely because he had offended political opponents, and another to prevent his appearance as a witness in a serious court case against a fake. There's no such thing as white man, but you know it's light skinned, but a white man. In some cases, the commission said it found reason to suspect victims had been deliberately framed for purposes of concealment or revenge. Georgia led in contribution to the 3,603 recorded lynchings since 1889 with 465. Mississippi had 464. All right. Yeah. Georgia had 465. Mississippi 464. Texas 364. Louisiana 349. And a lot of light-skins died. More than that. The commission concluded that lynching, while decreasing during the last 3 decades, was becoming more exclusively a Southern phenomenon, with 97% of the country's lynchings occurring in the South in recent years. Now, lynchings are to denote our 20-something cities that were flooded with people still in bed, children in the cribs, sleeping at night under anywhere from 50 to 100 and something feet of water, drowned, dead. The bones are still down there in these lakes of our great cities on our ancestral soil. New York Sun, June 14, 1932. Sheriff and Negro killed, 6 deputies wounded by mob. Winsboro, South Carolina, South Kakalaki, the real California. June 14, 6 deputies were wounded, and Sheriff Hood was killed today when they fought a desperate battle in front of the courthouse to keep a mob from lynching a Negro prisoner. Despite the posse's fight, the Negro was wrested from them, and the infuriated crowd shot him to death. Hackensack, New Jersey, Evening Record. Now, you know, up there on Eagle Rock Reservation, all them pale skins are fake pilgrims or fake Jews. They're playing Indians up there. It's our land. Eagle Rock Reservation. Do you know what eagle really means? The relationship between the wolf, the crow, the eagle. That's why I've been breaking it to you slowly. So anyway, Hackensack, New Jersey. Do you know where the term New Jersey's come from? Anyway. Lynch Negro for killing man who defended wife. Do you remember who so-called settled? When you want to get into Hamburg and Deutschland and this, that, and other, the fake Jews. You need to remember that. Who created the Ku Klux Klan? Where'd they get their attire from? Mind you, Ringgold, I'm not teaching hate, I'm teaching facts. Read it from a book. Ringgold, LA, February 20th, a Negro who kidnapped a banker and his wife in an attempted robbery and killed the man for defending the woman against attack, was lynched by citizens at the scene of the slaying yesterday. Officers said the Negro, identified as Nelson Nash, 24, of Leesville, LA, early yesterday morning, entered the home of J.P. Batchelor, 50 years old, of the Ringgold Bank, and forced Batchelor and his wife to take him to the bank and open the doors. When Batchelor told the Negro he could not open the vault, the bandit forced the couple, still in their nightclothes, to accompany him down the railroad tracks about a mile north of the town, where he allegedly attempted to attack the woman. Batchelor grappled with the Negro and his wife, ran to a nearby cabin to summon aid. The husband was severely beaten about the head and died of his injuries. As news of the crime spread, several hundred citizens organized posses and captured Nash 15 miles away. and brought him back to Ranghold, where officers said he confessed to slaying. The crowd spirited the Negro away to the scene of the slaying, hanged him from a tree, and riddled his body with bullets. Actually, you ever heard of the word cockhold? That's all I'm going to say. And because there were certain things and acts he didn't want to partake of, yeah, a very despicable, disgusting group of individuals on our soil. You can see it in all these so-called nationalities that support the fake Jews. You can see when it came to the soil, it was not part of it. And this is not hate to venerate it. All the home of the gay stuff. You see over there where they give over the colors in Hindustan and they go out and they sleep with the eunuchs. Those are men regardless, all right? And their wives and families stay home when they go out like some kind of ceremony. That is part of the Gujar tradition. The same thing with the Jews when Hitler wanted them out of there because of all the gay stuff. And he got rid of it. Now, sad how I went about it. Same thing when I was in Germany, when I went to the sex museums. The same thing when I was overseas in so-called the Arab immigrants, the states. And I saw all the homosexuality with the little boys, the pedophilia. And the same thing I saw practicing when I was in Canada. I used to go to the Brown Derby to hang out, you know, the Jamaican and reggae music and some of my brothers from the Caribs. Same thing when I was in Jamaica, all the times we went down there in St. Thomas. And they were like, we can't go on that side of the beach. Why? We walk up this long trail all through this thing, lakes, and then we go over there and we see all these tourists and all these little melanated boys, all these homosexual acts. And it goes on and on and on. It's not our way. It's not who we are. And the sad part, the world's been duped. The problem is they have bought so far into the lie. That's why they keep wanting it, because you got to remember, World War III was planned. And that's why they want you to dismiss the Illuminati, that crackpot organization. But the problem is they had to dismiss it because what you're saying now was laid out over a century ago. Just wanted to read a few. Let's go ahead. The Negro Project. The Negro Project. Margaret Sanger's diabolical, duplicitous, dangerous, disastrous, and deadly plan for so-called defamation of character. Because as you remember what I read about in the Bible, Ham, the progenitor of the dark races. And that means the Hindus and all of them too. Yeah, that's right. All right. But not the Negro. And ergo, what's the relationship between the so-called Jew, the Ashkenaz, the Gujar, and the Negro? The Negro is a defamation of character. It means necromancer. That's why it's important. And that's why I'm not going to read this book right now. But because, you know, I've read a little bit of it. That's why when I do really get into this book, you're going to hear some very terrible things. And that's the relationship between the Jew and the Negro. The delectable Negro. That's why it's good to study language. It's good to study terms. It's good to know that you're casting spells all the time when you speak. You know what the word speak means? All right? So let's go ahead and get in here. In the last decade of the 19th century, the United States, that's not America. The United States is a whole separate entity. But I said, when you let them tell a story, they tell it in ignorance. And when you start to study these things, you know it. So even though Bruce Flannery, forwarded by Ron Edwards, they wrote this, they're ignorant. So again, in the last decade of the 19th century, the United States was experiencing an influx of new immigrants from Europe. Hello, 19th century. Many of whom were poor, uneducated, and also had large families, easily to condition. That's your enemy. If you do this, you can have that. Rebel rousers, which feared rising, listen to me, this stirred much anxiety and animosity in the existing population, which feared rising rates of poverty, illiteracy, crime, and disease among these new arrivals. Although laws limiting immigration in America had been on the books for years, the new field of eugenics offered a unique angle from which to approach the problem. For instead of limiting by law the number of immigrants coming into the United States, or America, I should say, whom the largely Protestant population had come to resent in part because they were largely of the Catholic faith, now a new scientific way to attack the problem was within reach. They may not have been able to keep these people out entirely, but they could do something to limit the number of children they bore once they were here. Galton's ideas, as stated earlier, found ready acceptance in the United States, due in no small part to the idea that it was somehow scientifically possible to get rid of the bottom tenth of American society. Scots, Irish, and these are the brothers who helped conquer the lands of the true melanated people there. The autochthonous of those lands, the very same people that would come here, they would subjugate them because this is who they are, warlike. Doesn't matter. Friends, family, and foes. I mean, wasn't the World War I by design by the secret societies of these goofies, the Gujars? And it was all three of them cousins. After they conquered the lands, they said, let's have a war. And it would further destroy more of Tartary and bring more resourcefulness to the hypocrisy of it all, instead of more peace and love. It would create descendants of ignorance and further disdain to what you see today. It's just a blatant upheaval, and it boggles my mind people don't wake up and say no more. And so now we bring in all these people here to put them in the hospital, put them in this, that, and the other. They're on our ancestral soil like it's legitimate, like those laws and things mean something. They don't mean nothing to us. That's why they have to stay out our way. But see, when you have a bunch of dumb melanated people running around in the world, and they don't realize coming together they can stop all this, well, because of their sickness and the diseased minds and the food they eat, because they're crippled in their understudies, and because the narrative paints an ugly picture. Like I said, if I was talking about wars and everything else, as long as I wasn't showing it, it would be ads work because it's pushing their agenda. But see, I said I'm different, and these idiots don't get it. So they find out in the end, oh, well, not my problem. They might not have been able to keep their people out entirely, but they could do something to limit the number of children they bore once they were here. Now, Galton's ideas, as stated earlier, found ready acceptance in the United States due to no small part to the idea that it was somehow scientifically possible to get rid of the bottom tenth, remember that, of American society. Now, this segment was defined by the eugenics by its racial, economic, educational, and social standing, especially statuses. And they hope that the numbers of such undesirables or unfit people would be reduced or limited, if not eliminated entirely, through laws aimed at restricting immigration. For example, the Immigration Restriction Act of 1924, check it out, or by prohibiting miscegenation, interracial marriage, or other coercive measures such as forced sterilization. Now, who remembers who created the race phenomenon? Which Jew was that? The 5 races of men that became 4, then became, look, y'all, I'm just saying. Now, what part did Boaz and Walter Plecker have to play in that later on? The stuff is there. This is not made up stuff, you know? Anyway, or other coercive measures such as forced sterilization. Now, for a number of reasons, including race, almost every state in the Union enacted such barbaric laws to their everlasting shame and regret, including Virginia, which only ended all forms of legally enforced sterilizations in 1974. Now, in a more ominous example, a Nazi eugenicist cited the United States Supreme Court's ruling upholding California's eugenics law when he faced justice in the Nuremberg war crimes trial following World War II. We will examine some of said laws later on in this chapter, and it gets pretty good. It gets pretty meaty. Let's go ahead and stop there. It really does. It's an absurdity, and the fact that you still have these idiots talking about abortions, rights, and who do these people think they are? Who do they think they are? And you know what people means? They are not living, and they belong to the state. They're not real. They're citizens of a lie, and that's because they've been groomed to be so. Let's go ahead and behold the pale horse. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm sorry, I didn't show. I always show the book in case somebody's new. And welcome to all the new subscribers. It's a very interesting book. I've read quite a bit of it. So we're going to behold the pale horse by William Cooper. There's the man. I always show him because they assassinated him. I mean, all you gotta do is think about Waco, Ruby Ridge, but you need to know the people who are the customer, the people who are just followers, as dumb as they are. Okay, there we go. get right into it. Okay, so we're going to pick up at section 7. Okay, and remember we're in Article 8, the judicial branch. And I hope you were paying attention before. You can go back and watch those. It's got some monkey keeps taking down my little thumbnail as if it's an all right. Now I turned even the YouTube the notification off and it just popped down. It shows you that they come in here being nosy. They keep the back this dumb. Anyway, section 7. A presiding judge may decide with the concurrence of the senior judge. Listen again. A presiding judge may decide with the concurrence of the senior judge that there may be, listen to this, pre-trial proceedings. What are they saying, really? That criminal trials shall be conducted by either investigatory, or adversary proceedings, and whether there shall be a jury and what the number of jurors should be. But investigatory proceedings shall require a bench of 3, so no less. And we always say it's better to be judged by 12. It's not always the case. And there are many times when you go and stand before the fiduciary, because if you've been wrong, he's supposed to cut you a check and let you loose. But because the system is perverted with these over egotistical, diabolical, duplicitous, murderous things, monkeys who support an order that has no truth in its standing, no unconstitutional and everything else. This is what you have. Okay? It's investigatory. This is what happens when you study language. You get tired of the one you spew, the rhetoric that comes from it. Section 8. In deciding on the concordance of statutes with the Constitution. Now listen. In deciding on the concordance of statutes with the Constitution, the Supreme Court shall return to the House of Representatives such as it cannot construe. If the House fails to make return within 90 days, the court may interpret. Now do you see why they have the Constitution, and then every state has its Constitution, and then the court and the police force have their own oath they swear to? It's as if to say the Constitution and the country and you mean not, but yet every one of them were nurtured. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Whatever happened to the United States for America? To the republic for which it stands. The republic that is who we are. We're not goddamn citizens. We're not anything other than the truth of the republic. We're not some Republican Party, conservatives, and all this other goofy stuff that creates this two-sided opinion palette for divisive measures created by the Gujar. Challenge me on it. Shall return to the House of Representatives such as it cannot construe. If the House failed to make return within 90 days, the court may interpret. Now, we went over the 90-day periods when we were over here discussing whether the regulatory branch, all of it. It's always the same, okay? Somewhat. Section 9. I'm not sure. Yeah, Section 9. The principal justice or the president may grant pardons or reprieves. So the principal justice, who is the principal justice? I'm not going to sit here and just bark it out. I was hoping some of you would pull it up and go share it in there. But we don't have Lord or Snoo here, so they're the ones that really do it. A lot of you guys. And thanks for I'm going to shout out the 2 people that donated. You can't make this stuff up, man. I want to make sure, when you remember, it's principle, not principle, okay? We want to make sure it's for the. You say that with the president when you Google it, just so you know, okay? And put U.S. or Supreme Court, however you want to see it. So, nominated as Chief Justice of the United States by President George W. Here. Now, again, remember the Supreme Court justices are all Ivy law grads, but what about high school? See, they want to incorporate too. That's why I tell you it's a big game. So 9 justices make up the court, the current Supreme Court. 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justice. So when you're sitting over here, I want to make sure I got it right too. And you're looking at, excuse me, and you're looking at the Principal Justice. Well, who do you think the Principal Justice is? This thing is so funny. They're all up in my tablet, y'all. Okay. So they go back. Yeah. So it's all about the Supreme Court. That's what I want y'all to know. Okay. And you can go to the judicial branches where you find that information, because that's what it's all about. The Chief Justice, the principal, and that's the person that you can go to, and that's the one that's why it says Supreme Court. Okay. So just remember that. I wanted to pull it up because there's another thing, and I'm not going to go through all that to find it. That's what I'm saying. This is what they're doing right now. They don't care about the country. They don't care about the Supreme Court or the Constitution. That's why Google is one of the biggest lying things out there. And that's why it doesn't pull, but it used to. The very top thing it would have meaning, blah, blah, blah. I already know what it is, but I just wanted to allude that. And I'm not finding it. If you find it, then cool. Share it with everybody. But it's about the Supreme Court, okay? So again, the principal justice or the president, Supreme Court, may grant pardons or reprieves. So if the Supreme Court was to step in and say, that means that somebody's not doing a job. And as you know, most of these magistrates, so-called judges, they're not fiduciaries. They're liars on the bench. And they sit above you. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means they look down on you. And you look up to them. And that's why they say, do you understand, sir? I'd be like, no. I stand under nothing. And that would only piss them off. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get section 10. The high courts shall have 13 members, but 9 members chosen by their senior justices from time to time shall constitute a court. Now the justices on leave shall be subject to recall. And other courts shall have, and you've seen that happen before, other courts shall have 9 members, but 7 chosen by their seniors shall constitute a court, and shall be in continuous session except for recesses approved by the principal justice. Not no president, not this, that. Who remembers when they were doing this and they were trying, and the so-called fake Congress, this bastard was trying to, because they thought that the Supreme Court was on their part, but was on their side, but the Supreme Court, they're playing their part too. As long as they got you, they keep you like, okay, we stop the ATF with the brace law. But the ATF still comes because they don't care about the law. It's about the agenda. Okay? The Supreme Court, well, it's an act. As long as you're listening, if they turn around and say, well, we're going to make some changes, it's going to be a shock to everybody. And because people are so stupid, instead of fighting back against it, I don't push violence, but I'm saying a fact based on the Constitution and what you're supposed to see when you see tyranny, because they are playing it out so well, Most people will bow down. Should have read that too. No, we're going to read the other ones tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be good. Because then we get into the House of Representatives. It's like a back and forth. You see the information and you see how the game has being played. Excellent when Will Cooper put all this together. It's phenomenal. He was able to see past all the deception and deceit. And that's why it's important to read Silent Weapons from Silent Wars. When you first start reading it, you go through these different things. You get into the UFO and how the CIA did the cover up, and they would say, okay, we got UFOs, but this is what we got. But it's all a game. And he was getting and seeing more and more because people who were specific on the stories were coming forth and talking, and he was getting much more deeper with the Kennedy assassination and everything. And now most people really know. And yet now that's why they want to destroy everything, because why would we sit here and say, okay, no, y'all figuring it out. So now we got to bring all our weapons to bear. We got to bring people's ignorance, the poisoning of the food, the water, and we got to make war. And then have a reason to unilaterally destroy everything. Billions of lives. Oh, for the two that I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the donation. It's still there. It's there. I want to say, why is it doing this? Why are you being so nosy in my tablet? Little retards. So Jay Davis and Orlando Kane, appreciate you. And I think I shouted it out when it's going on. I appreciate it. Right? Yeah. Okay. Appreciate that. It helps out. It really helps. Because I was just looking at books and I didn't order it. I'm gonna wait until later. 5 o'clock. I'm gonna eat something right now. 5 o'clock. I'm coming on so we can get into exposition. Okay. Oh, and the Heaven Bears, book 2 or 3. And I'll go ahead and order a book or two right then and there. Okay. I thought some more people was going to donate. I don't know what happened. I don't do numbers. It's from your heart, as far as, because like I said, what you donate is what I match. It's always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same way. Whatever you give, I'm going to take. When I put everybody, what's in there, I'm going to go, okay, we got 75. It's going to cost like $250 to take it out, put it into the third account, and then I'm going to have to match 75, probably 78, because I got to pay for that and for shipping. So that's what I do. So all you come together, and then I match it, and then I order. I look at the books and I go, okay, that's about the number, and I order those books, and that's how I do it all the time. I take this hat off while my forehead's sweating, and then my hair is getting the poofomatics and stuff. So anyway, appreciate you guys, and that's it. So we ran through 3 books, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close out with a little Olmec and a little bit of Tulu.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about to suppress.
My hair looking crazy, right?
Oppressed, rising up against the oppressor.
Damn.
That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only
And I
people
put a
who
war hat on,
any
right?
harm coming to them
Yeah,
are
right.
those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser.
I talked to Baby Girl Slaughter for a little bit. She's working, so she's really good at reading books. It's phenomenal. I talked to my girl Snoo. She's working hard, y'all. I think she's off by now. I think she was driving home. She booty dialed me, so, you know. Oh, there's my, hey! There's my baby girl. What's up? What's up, baby? Check this out, man. When I walked out the gun range, I guess, I don't know, maybe they're French, I don't know. And I don't know what they are, but I was walking on, I'm all red. Now I had on my Reebok shoot, my battle boots with this. And the girl, she says, "Oh, you look cute. I'm about 6 years old, half your age." This is what I said. "Woman, I'm about half your age." "The hell you mean cute?" She says, "Well, I mean, you're handsome." I don't know how y'all say it here. I was like, "Ain't that your man?" I'm like that, y'all. I'm not some simp. I don't want to hear that. I don't need you. Because the way I was, I'm walking, you can see I'm lock and loaded. And I'm like, and I move like that, like, get out of my way. Because I don't have time for you. But my face don't tell it. You see my face, you would never think it. And I'm like, because my eyes say something different. But if you look deep, you'll see that they're full but empty. And that's what people can't make headway. So when she saw me, she saw the red, clean, right? I'm always doing some of beers, kind of, And when I walked out, all right, brothers, you know what I'm saying? They got a new Navajo guy working there, so I met, and we were all laughing and cutting real quick. And they were coming in, and she goes, because, I told you, I coached, and she goes, "Wow, you cute." And I was like, "Cute? Woman, I'm half your age. You don't call no man cute." Well, handsome, listen, unnecessary. Like, I got a thing on my back saying I need you to qualify me. I know I look good, motherfucker. Excuse my French. Ain't you with your man? Or your mans, or whatever? Go on about your business. See, when I was in France, I was like the most respectful. Everywhere I went, I was more respectful than anything. Now, what's funny is you got the fake media telling everybody we're dangerous and No, we're not. You got some idiots out there running around doing some stupid stuff, some skinny soy boys who don't know no better because their brain is chemically lobotomized. But then they come here and they don't know how to control their mouth because, they're traveling. And they realize a lot of us are very decent and good people, but because of the system, okay? But I just don't tolerate it. You want to have small talk? Meet me at meet me halfway. So I can let you know that I'm coming. You know what I mean? Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming in. Are you grocery shopping, baby? Groceries. You look up that word, okay? T. Hines, what's up, beloved? I got the Charles Marcus Williams. I love when people come in and speak, man. So that way I can say hi back. It's the most important thing to say hi. It doesn't matter who you are. Where's our little sister in Hawaii? What happened to her? Where's Mama? Where's Mama? Where's Mama Red? I mean, I know a lot of things are going on, but I always gonna make sure that they're okay. You know what I'm saying? I got some of my light-skinned brothers. I would love to see Paulie Cook over here. And that was a good one because I was driving watching that with Cure Meal. That was another good to go back, piggyback on the other ones he does. I like how he's doing, that's the way it should be done. I'm not to say it was a very good one. So y'all go check him out. Delusions of Humanity. I shared it already, but I'm going to watch it right now as I'm heating up some food. And I appreciate the donations. We get a few more in, and I'll go ahead and let y'all know and order the books. I'm never going to say how much. I mean, I could sit there and say, well, we got about $1,200 in books. I'm not taking $1,200 and putting it with another $1,200 to order. No. If we get up to say we get up to $450, because I keep adding books. This is just the way it's always going to be that way. I said that before. We get up to $450 and I'll throw on $500 and then we'll order, like $800-900. You know what I'm saying? But it takes everybody coming together, and most people, like I said, are very stubborn. I love that. Some people give $2.99, $5. That's perfect. You know what I'm saying? It adds up to help, and it goes a long way. Because, like I said, the gas is up, right? But the books, they only go up like 89 cents, $1.25, and a lot of books went up in price. I guess because of the gas, shipping and all that other stuff. You know how they do. You know what they do. All right? So, again, appreciate you guys. I'm hungry. I got to eat something. I meant to pick up some apples, and I forgot. I'm not sure. Actually, I looked at them, and I really didn't want to pick them up, if you get what I'm saying. But my beloved sisters and my brothers, and if people don't know what that means, women are the power. Third eye, pineal. And the men, the 2 and the 1 protects that power. Okay? So that's why I always go like this. And I guess you could say my hats off to you, or my salutations to the both, because without one another, we can never be and we can never accomplish a lot of things. And I want to be careful with that, because the pronoun thing is still up. I mean, I'm going to speak my mind, but you know what I'm saying. So that's for those who don't know. Okay? There's only man and woman. That's it. No man could be a woman, and no woman could be a man. Never. Okay? You finna... Oh, well, let them. Anyway, eternally bonded. Remember that. In all respect. All due respect. All right? It's no hate. We don't want to do that. Unnecessary by the narrative. All right? And I hope that you got something out of that. 100 Years of Lynching. There's other lynching books. Like I said, we'll get into that. I'm waiting for a book. The Negro Project and Will Cooper, Behold the Pale Horse. See you guys later.